Hello, hello, and welcome to our first podcast.
Yes.
Which is titled Life with Kina and Malcolm. I love this.
Me as well. I love it as well. Yes.
So I'm sure everyone is wondering, who are these people and what is this podcast all about, Life with Kina and Malcolm?
Yeah. So, baby, won't you break it down for us? What is this all about?
So this podcast is going to be about relationships and all types of relationships. We're talking husband and wives. We're talking mother and daughter, mother and child, father and child, friends. We have all different types of relationships, and sometimes they can be a bit challenging, and just being able to maneuver through those relationships. We're also going to have people on here with us who are experts in various types of relationships, and so we're going to be hearing from them and some of our marriage experts. And so we have a lot of great stuff in store for you guys, and we are excited to share it all. And most importantly, to share our story.
Yes.
And to be transparent with you guys and to let you in to our lives and our story.
Love that. I love doing this with you, to be able to help folks maximize their life and their relationships. Is a major and a fun responsibility.
Yes, agreed. So let's just jump right in.
Yes,
Tell
let's
us
do
who Malcolm is.
All right.
Where'd you start? Where'd you originate?
Where did I start? Where did I originate? Where did I originate? Let me say it again. Where did I originate? We're not going to edit that out either. I started on the north side of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
I'm sorry.
Oh, wow, whatever. So Pittsburgh Steelers, and we'll tell you more about that. But I started
Baltimore Ravens.
Whatever.
Continue.
Okay. Black and gold.
Purple and black.
Yeah. God has a sense of humor. Put a Ravens and Pittsburgh Steelers fan together. Okay, so where did I originate? Where did I start? So on the north side of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, I grew up on Jacksonia Street, as a matter of fact, and I lived with my mother, and I had a couple siblings at that time, and played all around the north side. Just had a lot of fun as a child, although I witnessed a lot of heartache and addiction, drugs and alcohol. My mother was addicted to drugs and alcohol, and so was my father. My mom's boyfriend of over 20-something years was addicted to drugs and alcohol, and so I watched that growing up as a child. That was very, very difficult. As a matter of fact, my house was like a shooting gallery. Not it was like but it was a shooting gallery. Folks would coke it up and shoot it up in their veins in my home. And so I saw so much growing up as a child. But again, like I said, I had some fun as well. And I had some good neighbors who helped me and showed me a different way of living.
Wow. Yeah. That's incredible.
Yeah.
To see who you became, even given your beginnings.
Yes.
Which clearly did not define who you were, and going to be. So that's powerful.
Yeah.
So you grew up on the north side.
Yes.
Did you play any sports?
So I loved playing sports in the neighborhood, but my thing was music. I loved music, loved singing. And so at a very young age, I was singing in elementary school. And as a matter of fact, my music teacher at the time was Mr. Howard, and he discovered my voice, my talent. And
you guys will get to hear a sample of that one of these podcasts. So you got to stay tuned.
Stay tuned. And so he wrote a song called "School Had Played Its Games on Me So Long," and he used the melody of "One in a Million You," uh, so by Larry Graham, and so that was my first solo, and everywhere I went on the North Side, I sang "One in a Million You" by Larry Graham. And my mother would take me all over the North Side to the bars with her. I was, I was in the bars.
Oh, wow.
Yes, yep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I was getting, hey, I loved it because I was getting free potato chips, free pop, and I was singing away in the bars.
Times were a lot different back
Yeah,
then.
times were a lot different.
We won't tell your age just yet.
Whatever. But I had a lot of fun singing and performing. Yeah, music. I would say music saved my life.
Wow.
It really did because
Powerful.
it opened up a lot of doors for me musically. And I met some powerful people in the music industry as a result of me singing all over the place and talent shows. And it was pretty amazing. I don't want to get too ahead of myself.
Well, no, I think one of the things that you said was just how your mother saw your gift.
Yeah.
And despite the fact that she was an addict,
Yeah.
she still encouraged that gift
yes.
and kind of watered that gift.
Yeah.
And I think that speaks volumes
Yeah.
because clearly she could have been like not even caring about you, not trying to push you and propel you along. She could have just been like, you can't sing.
Yeah,
Go sit down somewhere.
I'm so glad you said that because although my mother was addicted to drugs and alcohol, she absolutely loved me. And I was a mama's boy. I loved her. And yes, she showed me a lot of love. She gave me what she could give me. And to your point, yes, she took me everywhere with her. And she helped to cultivate that. And I really didn't think about that until you really said that, right? Even now, really, I really didn't think about it because although she, she did because, she took me everywhere. And she was proud of me. Oh, she would come to school. She was the type of mother that would come to my performance. Yeah, that's my boy. That's my baby. I was like, oh, yes, that's my mom. That's her right there. But yeah, she helped to cultivate my talent.
So I think that's great. That's one of the relationships, right, that we're going to be talking about.
Yeah.
How to encourage your children,
Yes.
no matter what they tell you they want to become or they want to do, to always be their number one cheerleader and say, yes, you can. And we'll hear about my story, but it's very similar.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of what and who we become is from, of course, God.
Yes.
But
absolutely.
also what you hear, the very first thing that you hear, the very first person that encourages you. And it should always be your parents. It should always come from those that love you. And it means so much more.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sure your neighbors probably said, oh, you can sing. But it's something else when your mom or your dad
absolutely
says, wow,
absolutely,
I'm so proud of you.
Yes.
Your voice is amazing. And I think that just goes a long way.
Agreed. And she did that in my father. My father did that. I loved him. He was like Superman. Because and the reason why I say he was like Superman is because a lot of times when I saw all the things that I saw and the folks coming in and out of my house and my house being raided by the police, because like I said, the house was a shooting gallery, my father would come get me. And although my dad was addicted to drugs as well, he didn't do it in front of me like my mom and Mr. Shorty did. And so my dad was like Superman because he would come in and save the day, and so to speak. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So now, fast forward. So you had some opportunities to sing with some legends, I hear.
Yes.
Mention that. Talk about that.
I will talk about that. So through Duquesne University, when I was a student there, vocal performance major there, I was a part of the choir, and we sang backup for Kenny Rogers. So at the Palumbo Center at the time in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Kenny Rogers was there, and he was doing his Christmas show. And so we were singing backup for him. And then James Earl Jones came to Pittsburgh. And while he was reading poetry, I was singing with the choir in the background.
Wow.
With James Earl Jones. Woo.
Wow.
Man. And so
Now, is his voice as powerful in person as you hear it when he's reading and doing voiceovers and
yes.
Yes. Wow.
All of the above. Yes.
What an
And-
amazing
Oh,
opportunity.
it was and for me, coming from where I came from and the experiences that I had, because all what am I trying to say? The odds were stacked against me, literally, and so to be able to do those things, despite where I came from, oh my, it was a blessing, truly a blessing. And then I went to Tanglewood Music Institute, Boston Tanglewood Music Institute in Lenox, Massachusetts, 2 hours outside of Boston. And I auditioned and got accepted. Kids from all around the world auditioned and were accepted. And there I got to meet Leonard Bernstein, and also I got to work with Bobby McFerrin. That was cool. Don't worry, be happy, Bobby McFerrin. So yeah, that was I had some really cool experiences that I'm truly grateful for.
That sounds amazing.
Thank you,
That
baby.
sounds amazing. So I'm glad you asked. What about me? Okay.
Let me ask. Okay, so tell us all about you. Tell us where you started and where you originated from.
Yeah. So, as you heard, I'm from the best city in America. Actually,
Whatever.
in the world, I think.
Too much.
Baltimore. Baltimore, go Ravens and Orioles.
Oh, wow.
And we were similar in how our parents encouraged us. So I came from a 2-parent household, and my parents stayed married until death did them part. My father passed away in 2009, and I have one sibling, one brother, older, might I say. He's older. Did I say he's older? He's
You
older.
did say
I'm the
that.
baby. Yes. And we were a very close family. We played a lot of board games. We went on a lot of trips to amusement parks every summer.
Wow.
My father and mother came to all our games. I played 3 sports. I did volleyball, basketball. I did softball for a little bit, ran track.
Wow.
And at 3 years old, I always said I wanted to be a doctor. I loved helping people. And all of my family really would encourage that and, tell me, Kina, I'm sick, help me. And I really thought that I was actually doing something
Wow.
and being their physician. And so then fast forward, at the age of 12, I was playing in my room, probably some Barbie dolls, which I don't know if 12-year-old girls play with that these days, but that's what I was doing at 12.
And that's okay.
And that's okay. And so I remember my father calling me out to the living room, and he was like, Kina, come out here. I want to show you something. And he was watching the news. And so I start watching it with him, and they're giving all these accolades to this Black doctor. And it's something that we didn't hear a lot of, or you didn't see a lot of back then. And so I started to listen even closer at that point. And they started to talk about how he separated these Siamese twins, which were conjoined at the head. So basically what we call craniopagus. I know I got a little technical. Craniopagus
And that's
twins.
okay, too.
So twins conjoined at the head or connected at the head. And I looked at my dad, and I'm looking at the TV, and I'm like, oh, that's easy. Now, mind you, I had no idea what they were even doing and what that even meant. But I said, that's what I'm going to do, pediatric neurosurgery.
Wow.
And he said, you sure can.
Wow.
And it was that, and in that moment, that I had no doubts. My dad said I could.
Yeah.
And then again, like you said, you know, the rest of my family cultivated that. My mother, my brother, and, you know, cousins, uncles, everyone. No one ever said, that's too hard. You're not going to make it. What are you thinking? And because I had that, it was, you know, I got the straight A's. I was like, I can do this. You know, I have people that believe in me. That wasn't always the case when I got to school and when I told counselors what I wanted to do. It was, are you sure that's what you want to do? Maybe a nurse. And now, obviously, nursing is a very admirable profession. And we can't do what we do without nurses. And so we're a team. But I will say, if that's not your calling, if that's not your passion, then that shouldn't be something that someone should try to throw on you because they think that what you're saying you want to do is too difficult. And so...
Or you're not capable of it.
Or you're not capable.
Because of the color of your skin.
Or gender.
Or gender. Yeah.
Yeah. So then fast forward, I go to the University of Pittsburgh, undergraduate, and then 4 years later, I go to the University of Pittsburgh School of Medicine, and that was in 1997. And then in 1998, I meet you. My brother, Malcolm.
My sister, Kina.
And that is literally, folks, how we refer to each other.
Yes.
We were both married at the time.
Yes.
And this was my brother. And we only saw each other on Sundays. And that was it. And I remember we were in a play together.
Yep.
You remember better than I do.
Yes,
he has
I
a
do.
much better memory.
I played King David in David.
And he was very good, mind you.
And what did you play?
You didn't have to go there. I don't remember. I just told you my memory's bad.
But you did very well. You did very well.
Thanks. In that no title role.
I do remember you doing well.
I was a sheep.
You were not a sheep.
Well, I probably was. But nonetheless, that is where our journey and our story begins. And we met 26 years ago. And you're going to have to stay tuned to find out the rest of the story.
Yes.
Anything else you want to say?
Well, you know what? I think this was a good place to end because the next time we come on, we can go a little deeper.
Yes.
This was a nice start, I think.
Yes.
And you know what? I know it was a nice start.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And hopefully you all agree and you will come back and tune in.
Come back.
To our next podcast. And you will see our journey, our story, and there's going to be something really exciting.
Yes.
Really, really exciting.
Okay.
So you have to stay tuned, guys.
Stay tuned.
I mean, it's...
I'm looking forward to it, too. I'm like, what is he talking about? I'm going to stay tuned. I'm going to stay tuned as well.
And this is what I'm working with, ladies and gentlemen. This is what I'm working with. Yeah. Until next time. Life with Kina and Malcolm.